gonna, we are going to go through this same area and talk about every single entry into the market. So, as we previously discussed, getting these things cut up is 80% of the work. Once it's cut up properly, everything else is pretty easy. So, let's just begin over here. So, the entry is on the breaks. Okay, everywhere your cut breaks, you get an entry. So this actually is not drawn technically correct. Let's get it drawn correctly. All right, updating the cuts, and boom, here we are. Okay, so right in here, okay, right here, let me go ahead and circle this. This was the entry. Now, I always recommend that you wait for a second candle. Now, me personally, what I like to do is I'll take one entry on the break and I will take a second entry on the retest on every position. Okay, I do this consistently and it consistently pays off really well. The downside to entering right on the break is that typically price will retest at some point on most occasions, or at least move back. So when that happens, you're going to get some drawdown. You're not going to be in the best position. If you were to lose the trade, you would have a bigger loss. If you wait for a retest, you typically get a much better position. You will risk not catching the move. That's why I tend to take both. How you wish to trade is going to be dependent on your risk management, your trading psychology, and your trading style. You can choose to wait for a retest. You can choose to do the breaking candle. I'm going to highlight both of those in every instance. And for the purposes of the demonstration, we will use the retest candle for the calculations. Okay, so in this case, you can see we have on our break, we have the breaking candle right here. It's green. And then we've got the retest candle here in red. So that is the entry. Boom, right here. That's the entry. All right. We're not going to discuss the stops yet. We are just discussing the entry. Now, the next entry is going to be over here on the break of the cut. All right. So we have got the breaking candlestick in red. We have got the retest candlestick in green. The entry is the retest candlestick. Boom, here is the entry for the sell. Okay, next. Here's our entry. We have got the breaking candlestick in green, the retest in red. Hopefully y'all are starting to see what I'm talking about when I say that typically waiting for that retest candle gives you a much better position. This is going to be a buy trade here. All right, trading with the trend. Remember, if we are in a bullish market, we are going to look for a buy trade. If we are in a bearish market, we are going to look for a sell trade. Okay, it's all dependent upon where your cuts are at. The whole purpose behind this strategy is to react to the market's change in trend and follow that trend as long as you can, as accurately as you can. So we are entering on the trend changes. We are entering on the cut breaks. Okay, over here. Here's our entry, our cut breaks, and we get a retest. Okay, so let me show y'all. Right in here, this candle closed outside, retest in. Okay, either one of those you could have entered on. Again, you know my recommendation is to wait for the retest. You'll get a much better position. All right, there's that. All right, so we're holding. Here we go. Entry, our cut breaks. Okay, our cut breaks. Now on this one, if you wait for the retest or the next candle, okay, you may want to review price action to understand properly how a retest works. But in this case, the retest does not give us a better position. It gives us a worse position. And this is why I will typically take a trade entry on both when I'm personally trading the strategy. But again, we're going to be consistent here and enter on the technically what is considered the retest candle, which is just simply the next candle that closes outside of the cut. not based on bullish or bearish, simply based on it's another price close outside of the cut. Okay, so now obviously on this one, had you waited for a price to come back down, you would have gotten a better entry. But for consistency, I'm not even going to go through all that. I'm just going to keep it simple. Okay, so here we are. Let's make sure we've got this one drawn exact here. All right. Okay, so this was the first candle to break, and then that's the retest. So there's your entry right here. All right. Okay. Move this over here. All right. This right here, this broke, retested. So these two candles right here, these are your entry candles. We're going to use the second one here. All right. We are just discussing the entries right now. We will talk about exits and trade management next. I want y'all to see the entries. These are all entries that I'm circling. All right. Entry. Okay. Wait for the second candle. That's the short. All right. That's your entry right here. Wait for the second candle. Again, you can enter on either one, but these are your entries. All right. Where do we break next? This one was horizontal. We broke right here. Boom, that's your entry. All right. Here we go. We broke over here. That's your entry. All right. We broke over here. That's your entry. Alright, over here, we broke over here, that's your entry. Just make sure that it's actually, should be steeper. So your entry was actually right here. Alright. Alright, that's the entry. Alright, over here, it's actually a little bit steeper, like this. Okay, so we broke right here, retested right there, that's your entry. Alright. Okay, so on this one, depending how you actually clean this up, you might not have even gotten an entry. Obviously, if you see a break and then you see a giant candle like this, you're not going to enter. If you did adjust it like this, which is still totally acceptable, you have 1, 2, 3 big bounces off of it, then your entry would be right in here, that second one. Okay, we'll just ignore that one and say that we didn't catch it. Okay, the next one. Your entry is here. So break, retest, okay. Here's your entry. This one right here. Break. Oops. There we go. Break. Here's your entry. So we will like so. Alright. On this one here. Here's your entry. Alright. Over here, another one, depending on how you drew it. So this one right here is very similar to this one over here. Okay, depending on how you chose to do it. This time, if you left it on the overarching one, you would have missed it. Had you come in like so, you would have caught it. To be consistent, we decided to roll with keeping the what would happen if you kept it tighter. So we're going to keep this one tighter as well. I just want to show you all consistency is very important. So that's the entry right there. So here it is. Okay, and then here's the entry over here, followed with the entry short position. Okay, so these are all of the entries. So you are entering when your cut breaks, when your trend line breaks. That is your indication that you need to enter the market. It is your indication that the trend is changing and you need to capitalize on that trend. You need to take the trade. Click the button, enter the market. Okay, that is your entry signal. Now it's very important that you understand the entry signal, and it's also even more important that you understand that it's all going to be dependent on your ability to correctly cut the market up.